If you've got a black thumb or a toddler or two, these are the plants that still grow through neglect with almost no pest pressure, and they actually really taste good. And they're not the ones that you usually hear about. Most beginner garden lists are really great, except for they're missing out on a couple of key components. They're not exactly realistic because yes, maybe they do grow really well and really easily, but the pests really love them, so that makes them high maintenance. Or yes, you can grow them really easily and they're not that prone to pests, but they're not that delicious either, and you end up with an abundance of food that you don't even know what to do with. So these are the ones that are actually easy to grow. They don't get hit hard by pests, and they're genuinely delicious, even straight out of the garden. I'm talking about plants that forgive you, genuinely forgive you if you go on vacation for a week or maybe even 2 during the summer. The ones that still grow even if life gets busy and you can't get out to garden to tend it. And it's okay. You can go out later and there'll be something delicious waiting for you. So the first one is one of my favorites and one of my husband's favorites. I grow these every year. My toddler even loves these. And in fact, last year my husband didn't get any because the toddler ate them completely before we could ever get any into the house. So I'm going to be planting a lot more this year. But the first one is ground cherries. Ground cherries look a little bit like Japanese lanterns. They are so good, and they get their name from, you know, they're ripe because they fall to the ground. And they have this little case that they're wrapped up in, so even when they do fall on the ground, they don't get dirty. They're pre-packaged, I guess. So you open it up and inside is a cherry tomato-like veggie, and it's delicious. I guess fruit, I should say. Technically, it's a fruit. It is very delicious. It's sweet, a little bit tart, and one of the best garden annuals that you can have. Ground cherries are so easy to grow that oftentimes if you don't get every single one and harvest it, it will self-seed and grow itself the next year. Plant that grows itself, that's about as low maintenance, easy to grow as you can get, and pests don't bother it. Tomato cherries, those are the overachievers of the garden as well. My mother-in-law has a compost area where she threw a couple of tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, years ago. And now every year we get cherry tomatoes growing out of the side of the compost bin without fail. They have never not grown on their own. She never had to plant them again. Cherry tomatoes are prolific too. So even in the high heat of summer, they're going to keep producing and keep producing. And usually the cherry tomatoes are the sweeter, and they're really great for fresh eating. So you just pick them and pop them in your mouth. Delicious. And they're also not bothered by pests too much. They're great. You can put them in casseroles. You can put them in salads. They are so good. I like to put them on top of focaccia. Anyway, you can eat them fresh in the garden, and they're easy to cook with as well. The next one is the scallop squash. Now, zucchini is great and yellowneck squash is great, but scallop squash is really good because it produces continuously. Even if you don't always harvest on time, it will still keep producing. Also, it produces so quickly that usually you can get a huge harvest before the squash bugs even start making an appearance. So also, I like the taste of the patty pan squash so much more than I like zucchini or yellowneck or crooked neck. Anyway, scallop squash is where it's at. So easy to plant, so easy to grow, and delicious. Romanesco squash. So if you love zucchini, this is the plant for you. Zucchini, it gets wiped out almost every year at a certain point, either due to the powdery mildew or to the squash bugs. But Romanesco is so good because, first of all, it vines. So you can grow it over a trellis, which means it doesn't take up a huge footprint in your garden. It grows really quickly and easily, and it's fun for the kids to go underneath the trellis, right? Then it grows in this big, long manner. So there's a really long neck, and at the bottom there's like this bulb, and the bulb is where the seeds are kept. So you can go for a long time without harvesting them. In fact, you can turn them into a winter squash, which is fine if you just keep growing them. But whenever you harvest them, it's never going to be too late. Like with zucchini, if you harvest them and they're too big, then the seeds are huge and it kind of ruins the taste. Well, the seeds are at the bottom on this, and what you eat is the neck. And so you never have to worry about it getting to be too seedy because there's no seeds. And so you can miss a week or two, go to vacation, right? Come back, and it's not like you missed out or all of a sudden your zucchinis are too huge and you can't eat them. They're non-edible. Your Romanescos are going to be perfect, okay? So Rampiacante or Romanesco, you can call them either one. And the squash bugs don't really like this vine. So when they're going for the zucchini and everything else, it won't be even hitting or touching this Romanesco vine. Sugar snap peas are where it's at. So sweet and so delicious and easy, and they grow quickly, and they're one of the first things to grow in the garden, so it's a real good confidence booster, and they can produce for a long time. They're easy to grow. You can plant them before the last frost date, and you get this really delicious snack in the garden that you can munch right there. And again, pests are not really a problem with sugar snap peas. Okay, so the next thing, beets. I love beets. They grow in all sorts of different kinds of soils. They're not as finicky as carrots or onions, and I love the taste of beets. I had to experience beets, though, first in order to love them by pickling them. If you haven't had a pickled beet, you are missing out. I hated beets. I hated them. But now, since I had the pickled beets, I'm a big beet lover, and that's the only way I'll eat them, but I love it, and it's so good. So beets are so good for you, and they are so delicious, especially if you pickle them. Some people like them normal. That's great. Good for you. But if you pickle them, even if you don't like beets, you'll probably like them that way. And they are easy, and they are double crop. So you can get the root, which is really good. And then you can also eat the greens. And so that is also something that you can add to your food and just kind of crop them off around the top, the leaves, and you can use those in your salads. Okay, my husband's other favorite veggie in the garden is the cucamelon or the mouse melon. And I really love it too. The cucamelon, it looks like a really tiny little watermelon, like a grape size, like a green grape sized watermelon. But it has the sweetness and the crunch of a cucumber. And it is delicious, and it's perfect for snacking, really great off the vine. It self-seeds. It's so easy to grow. And there's hardly any pests that go after the cucamelon. Cucumbers, yeah, they have a hard time with pests sometimes. But cucamelon, and you never have to worry about them getting too big like you do with cucumbers. They're going to stay the same size, and then you just eat them whenever you find them. And they are prolific. So cucamelons are always on my list of things to grow, and they're delicious and super easy, great for the beginner gardener. Now, this list wouldn't be complete if I didn't say bush beans. Make sure it's bush beans, though. They're so much easier to handle than the vining beans, and they are so prolific, and they're easy. And if you miss some, hey, you got seeds for next year, right? So they're very forgiving. Pests don't bother them a whole lot. Beans are where it's at. Leaf lettuce is also super easy, and you can plant that before the last frost date as well, and it'll still do well. I like to plant mine in my garden tower that I have, and I'll put a link to that below. I've got a coupon code for it if you want it, but I like to put it in a tower just because it's closer to my house than my garden. And then it also, when it rains, I don't get that splashback of the dirt landing on the leaves. So it's a lot cleaner when I pick it, and that's why I like to do that. But leaf lettuce is great because you continue to pick it throughout the year. And if you keep picking it, it'll keep producing. Okay, bell peppers. Bell peppers look fancy, but they're super low maintenance once you get them established. And so if I don't have time to plant seeds that year, there's no shame in stopping by your local nursery or even Walmart and picking up a few starts, sticking them in your garden beds. Peppers, sweet peppers, oh my goodness, they're delicious and they're prolific. And as long as you've got some good compost on that soil, or you use it when you plant it, you're gonna have some delicious peppers. And those are good for fresh eating. Those are good for cooking with. I love to eat them right in the garden. And pests don't bother them very much either. One of the last ones, I got one more after this, is basil. Basil is the easiest herb on the planet to grow. I wish everybody knew how easy basil is. Nothing bothers it. It brings in pollinators if it ever goes to seed and flowers, and that's fine. But if you keep pinching it back, it'll keep producing. The seeds are so easy to germinate and sow and grow, and it's delicious, especially if you pair it with those cherry tomatoes. Oh, man. Anyway, so basil, so good for the beginner gardener. And then on top of that, chives. Chives germinate so easily as well, and nothing bothers them either. And once they flower, again, you got all those pollinators coming in, but you can literally mow chives down and they will continue to grow year after year. So chives are super easy as well. So that's my list. And yes, it looks a little bit not like I should be telling you what to grow in your garden right now, right? I got snow in mine. But this is the time that we should start thinking about it. This is the time that we should start thinking about ordering our seeds if we're going to start our plants from seed, or just kind of planning what we're going to plant in our garden so it's not overwhelming later on. I've got an affiliate link below for a seed company that I love so much, and if you're a beginner gardener, they're definitely the ones to go with because their seeds germinate really well, and they give you more information on how to make sure you're successful on their seed packets than any other company combined. If you feel like you can't grow anything because you've got a black thumb, maybe it's because you haven't tried these yet, and you just need a confidence boost. And I'll tell you, good gardeners aren't good gardeners because they have a green thumb. It's just because they've put up with all the failures and continued to plant over and over and over again until they meet success. So you can do it too. There is nothing wrong with you. Plants love you too, just as much as they love everyone else. You do not have a black thumb. You can do this. So if you're interested in seeing what to plant that is perennial, that is super easy with zero pest pressure, hardly at all, and you can just plant it and forget it, and then constantly have food during the summer to feed to your toddlers or yourself or your husband or whatever, then check out my next video, which is all about the best easy to grow perennials for food all the time for anybody who thinks that they have a black thumb. Okay, I hope you guys have a wonderful day and stay blessed.